This conference will now be recorded.
Hi friends, good morning. In this Business Intelligence Master program. So in today's session, we are going to talk about Spark SQL, which is very important in terms of processing because most of our client data is a structured and semi-structured data. To handle structured and semi-structured data, we are going to use something called Spark SQL module in Spark. So we discussed what are the different modules we have in Spark, right? So we have a Spark core, Spark SQL. These are the very important modules. Then we have a Spark streaming. Then we have machine learning, graphics, isn't it? So now out of all these things, the important one is Spark SQL. Spark SQL is basically used to handle structured data and semi-structured data. Please remember, because most of our data will be a structured and semi-structured. To handle structured and semi-structured data, we have a Spark SQL module. We are going to use a Spark SQL, so which is very commonly used module. 95% of the people will use this module. Okay, so some people will use like 5% of the people will use Spark core. So but Spark core and Spark SQL only we are going to use in all other modules. In all other modules we are going to use Spark SQL syntaxes and Spark core syntaxes, but Spark SQL is used 95%. Remaining 5% we are going to use the RDD. So it is very important. So we are going to understand today how to create a Spark SQL object. Remember, Spark SQL object is called a data frame. Okay, so we're going to understand how to create this data frame. So this data frame can be created from the different types of files. That file can be a CSV, that file can be a Parquet, JSON, Avro, ORC, or it can be any table as well. Okay, we are going to see how to create this data frame. So once you create this data frame, then we are going to see, we will try to understand some of the basics. Example, selecting required columns. Maybe if you want to add some extra column, how to add, then how to drop some of the like duplicate records you want to drop it, right? So how to drop those duplicates. If you want to filter out, how to filter out. If you want to order this particular records, how to order. So all these things we are going to discuss in today's session. Let's see. In today's session, we are going to learn how to create Databricks communication, because we already learned how to create Azure Databricks. Then we also learned how to create the Azure Databricks cluster, isn't it? So today we are going to understand how to create Databricks communication. It is completely free. You don't need to make any payment for this. It's completely free. So there is no time limit as well. So like you have 14 days free trial, you have 1 month free trial, right? So no such free trial limit you have. So it's a completely unlimited. You can create cluster at any time. You can able to create the data frame. You can use this Databricks at any time for free of cost. Okay, so we are going to see how to create this Databricks community. If you have a mail ID, that's all. This is the only prerequisite. If you have mail ID, you can able to create the Databricks community. Okay, then we are going to see Spark modules and objects. So what are the different Spark modules we have? As we discussed, Spark core, Spark SQL, machine learning, Spark streaming, and graphics, right? So these 5 modules. In these 5 modules, objects, what are the different objects we have? To create those objects, what are the prerequisite? Those things we've discussed. Then we will see. So to create these objects in Spark module, we needed something called Spark session, Spark context. It is going to initialize the communication between the group of computers. Okay, it is going to initialize the communication between the group of computers, because cluster is nothing but a group of computers, isn't it? It's a cluster is nothing but a group of computers. So in this group of computers should communicate. How this group of computers should communicate is with the help of Spark session and Spark context. We are going to start the communication in the cluster. When the communication is started in the cluster, what happens? You can just submit your code based on what kind of code you have submitted. Your objects will be created. So you will see in detail all those things. Then we will see create data frame from tuple of list. So you may get data in a different forms. So ultimately, with that particular data, how to create data frame object? This is a object in a Spark SQL module. As I mentioned, Spark SQL module is the mostly used module. So in this module, objects are called data frames. These data frames you can create it in a different ways. One of the way you can see is tuple of list. Then we will see from RDD. we have different file formats, maybe any file. It can be CSV, text, JSON, Parquet, ORC, Avro, XML, Excel, zip, anything. Create data frame from tables. How to create this particular data frame from the table? If you have a data in a table, how to create this? Then we are going to see data frame actions. So we were talking about something called transformations and action. Transformation means when you create a data frame, it's a transformation. When you read a file and you create a data frame, it's a transformation. On top of transformation, maybe you want to select required columns, it's a transformation. You want to drop some of the duplicate records, it's a transformation. You want to, maybe what you can do, you just add the extra column, it's a transformation. You want to rename the column name, it's a transformation. But after doing all this transformation, you want to apply some action. What is this action all about? Action is basically to show you actual result. Maybe on result you can say, can you show me the top 20 records to preview the data set? So maybe you can ask, can you just tell me the count in my result, the result and record count I want to know, so can you tell me the count? So I just want to know the top one record, so you can use first or something like that. You have a different action that you can able to apply. We will see. Then we have a create a data frame schema. So you want to understand, so what are the columns I have, what are the column data types I have. So I want to know more about each column, so whether each column may null value or not. So you can able to know the schema of data frame. So how to know that, we are going to see. Then we will see. So once you create the data frame, that is nothing but reading data frame. Then we are going to see how to select columns, then how to remove duplicate records, then how to filter records. So when you are filtering or when you are doing this, you may have a multiple conditions. When you have a multiple condition, you are going to put, you're going to use some operator between multiple condition. That can be or, and operator, in operator also you can use. Then we are going to see sort data in data frame. So suppose I want to sort the data in a data frame, how to sort it. Then order data in data frame. So whether you are using sort by or order by, data will be sorted, but there is small difference between these two, I will discuss. Then max function, min function, sum function, average function, count function. So these are the functions we have actually, which are a aggregate functions. So you want to understand, let's say you have departments, HR department, development department, testing department. So in each department, so who is getting the max salary? So what you need to do, first you need to aggregate, meaning first you need to group all these records which are related to the each department. Let's say all the records which are related to the HR department, you need to bring it to one place. On top of that, you need to understand what is the max salary, maybe per department, how much total salaries you are making. So you just have to use some function. Minimum salary employee from each department, min. So average salary that we are making, that we are paying for each department, you need to say AVG, average. So count is basically used to get the count, the number of people we have in each department. If you want to know, you need to use the count function. Okay, fine. So these are the things we will see. So first thing is Spark modules and objects. You see here we have something called module. So here we have an object. See, Spark core is a module, and in Spark core we are going to create something called RDD objects. These RDD objects you can able to use to handle structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. But this is recommended to handle unstructured data. This is recommended to handle unstructured data. Next prerequisite, if you look at here, so if you want to create RDD, we are going to use something called Spark context. To create RDD, we are going to use the Spark context. Next, we have something called Spark SQL module. So here, objects are called data frames and the data sets. There are two types of objects we have, but Python will support only one one object, that is data frames. Data set concept will not be there in Python. I will discuss why it is not available, but these data frames are recommended to handle structured data and semi-structured. I have not mentioned, but it is recommended to handle structured and semi-structured data. Next, you can use to create data frames. We are going to use something called Spark session. Okay, so here we have a D streams to handle real-time data processing for using machine learning libraries. ML module we will use here. Objects are called vector. We need a Spark session. Here also streaming context we need. But you do not worry about all these three. If the requirement really comes, you can able to understand those things. You just focus on Spark SQL, which is very widely and frequently used module. Here objects are called data frames, and we need a Spark session for this. Okay, we'll see. First, as I mentioned, to create a data frame, what we need Spark session. How to create Spark session is from PySpark.SQL import Spark session, you know. So this import statement, what it tells. So it's basically a class. Spark session is a kind of a, you can say, variable, function, and class, right? So you can have a three types of things in your Python. Spark session is a class. In that class, we'll have a method, a session dot builder dot app name dot config dot getter create. So you know how to import if you have any function, variable, or class. So exactly, even if it is a class, we are going to import exactly how we are importing our variables and functions. So you need to first say PySpark.SQL because it's a PySpark. In PySpark, I am talking about SQL module. PySpark.SQL import Spark session. We need this Spark session to create data frame objects or whatever you wanted to do. So Spark session is a class. On this I'm calling builder method. Builder.app name. App name is your application name you can give, then configure. So if you have any configuration, you can give these things. Otherwise, you just, if you don't have any configuration, you can ignore it. Then you need to use a get or create. Get or create, what it will do, if the object is already available, it will get it. If it is not available, it will create the new Spark session. But ultimately, we need to have a Spark session to read the data from different types of files, or to read data from the table, or whatever you want to do in Spark SQL, we need a Spark session. We can have as many Spark sessions as we want. Let's say if you have a 10 people, so what you need to do, you need to maintain 10 different sessions. Okay, so each person rules, each person properties will be treated as a differently. Let's say I will set it, maybe I will request for 1 GB memory and 1 core. Okay, as per my requirement, I'll just submit something. So my job will be allocated with those many resources. So each person, like each session configurations will be treated as a different. But we have something called Spark context. So Spark context will be the only one. You will have a single Spark context, which is basically communicate your cluster. Okay, it will communicate your cluster internally. Even though you are using Spark session internally it uses Spark context. Okay, it internally it uses Spark context. Okay, fine. Next, we'll see. So you can just create Spark context in two ways, directly by using Spark context mode, and the app name. So you can say local, and this is first app or whatever. See, all these syntaxes we were using in a on-premise, but now everything is a cloud. So in the cloud, what happens? You no need to create all these things. All these things are already available. You see, Spark session and Spark context objects already available as Spark and SC respectively. Spark session is available as Spark context is available as SC respectively in a Databricks notebook. You no need to create these like these contexts and sessions explicitly. Okay, let's see now. Create data from tuple. So let's say you know already tuple. See here, Rama comma 1000, Krishna comma 2000, Sai comma 3000. So this is a tuple. Inside one tuple object, second tuple, third tuple. You have three tuple objects. These three tuple objects I created inside a list. This is a list. We discussed all these things. This is a list. This is a tuple. Only thing that I have done is this tuple I created inside this list. Okay, now there is a tuple of list. Multiple tuples we have, that's why tuple of list. Now what I am trying to do, I am trying to read this particular data and create the data frame. So as I mentioned, the prerequisite to create the data frame is Spark session. So Spark dot create data frame. Spark dot create data frame. So I am just creating this data frame, and I need to have a Spark session. okay, to create data frame. So Spark dot create data frame. What is this Spark? Spark is nothing but a Spark session. That's what I mentioned in the earlier slide. Spark session is available as a Spark meaning Spark session object is created and assigned to a variable called Spark. So this Spark is nothing but it indicates Spark session. On this Spark, you need to call the function called create data frame. Spark dot create data frame, which is going to take two arguments. First argument is data, second argument is your schema, your column names. Okay, it will finally generate the data frame. Okay, data frame. This data frame name can be anything. Okay, but Spark name must be Spark. But if you have created your own Spark session, you can give your own name. Okay, df4.show. df4.show means so it will show the data. It will show the data which you have read it from this particular data. Okay, so this is how you are going to create data frame from the couple of list. Empty data frame. Let's say I don't have any data. I don't have any data. I just wanted to create the data frame, empty data frame. Then you need to tell what columns you want to put it in that particular data frame. So my column name is C name, customer name, and maybe customer profits. So customer name, it's a name string type. Profit is an integer type. Or if you want to make it as a long type, you can make. If you have a very large amount of like you have very big profits, then you can just make it as a long type. So true, it indicates this column alone null values are not true. So C name can be null or profit can be a null. So null values are accepted here. Okay, next. So create data frame from range function. You can create the data frame from range function as well. Spark dot range of 10. So then it is going to create ID column. It will create in that ID column. It is going to give the values 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay. Next, create data frame from RDD. So basically, RDD is the Spark core object. Spark core object. RDD is the Spark core object. Okay. So here you see 1 Rama, 2 Krishna, Bangalore, 3 Sai, Chennai. So I mentioned RDD is recommended for what, friends? Anybody remember? RDD is recommended for handling the unstructured data. You remember? RDD is recommended to handle unstructured data. So now you have 1 Rama, 2 Krishna, Bangalore, 3 Sai, Chennai, phone number. So if you look at this data, it's not structured, right? So here only 2 columns. Next we have 3 columns. Next we have a 4 columns. So now what I need to do, I need to use RDD to handle this. Okay, so how to handle this in RDD is first you need to create a RDD. How to create RDD? You see sc.text file. So this entire data I have in this particular text file, mismatch data.txt. Then you just read it and create the RDD. Okay, we have a r1.collect. Once we have r1.collect, once we collect this, okay, you will get the data something like this: 1 comma Rama, 2 comma Krishna comma Bangalore, 3 comma Sai comma Chennai, phone number. Okay, so this is the first object, this is second object, this is third object. Like so, each row will be a 1 row. Okay, 1 comma Rama will be in a single quotes, 2 comma Krishna comma Bangalore is in a single quotes, 3 comma Sai comma Chennai comma phone number will be in a again in a single quotes. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to split this particular each row, right? See, when I just say or we discussed about map filter these functions, right? r1.map lambda x colon x dot split. What is x here? 1 comma Rama is the x. Okay, so when I just split it, it is going to create a list. It is going to create a list. Okay, 1 comma Rama will come. So when you split 2 comma Krishna comma Bangalore, so next list, another list will be created, 2 comma Krishna comma Bangalore will come. So third row, if you split it, you will get 3 comma Sai comma Chennai comma phone number. Okay, so like you will have a 4 different fields. Now I want to make it as a structure. For that, what I need to do, I know the maximum number of columns that I have in this particular data is 4 columns, isn't it? So we have customer ID, name, location, and phone number. I have 4 columns. Now, when I look at this particular data, I see only customer ID and name. So I don't have a location and phone number. What I wanted to do, I want to have 2 more columns with a no data. Okay, I just populate as a no data. Here also, I just wanted to populate as a no data for 4th column. So for that, I have written a small function which is going to generate something like this: 1 comma Rama, no data. As there are 2 columns missing in first row. In second row, we have only one column is missing, that is phone number. So that for that particular column, I'm just making it as no data. Okay, now we'll see how it is making no data. So now you need to be active and tell me, friends, a range of 2, 4 means how many values it will generate. A range of 2, 4. What values it will generate?
2 and 3, sir.
Yes. If it is a so range of 2 to 4 means it will generate 2 and 3. End minus 1, it will not generate 4. Okay, so it will generate 2 and 3. So now you see, you just see what I'm doing here. So map dot handle mismatch. Handle mismatch means for this particular function I'm passing one by one list, 1 comma Rama. So do you know the length of this particular list? How many items we have in this? 2. So when you say length of x, it will be a 2. 2 comma 4 means 2 times no data will come. Next, what is the length of this? 3. So range of 3 comma 4 means how many times it will, what values it will generate? Single value, isn't it? Range of 3 comma 4 means it will generate a single value, that is 3. So 3 means only one time, right? So one time means only one time. I'm just going to put here no data. Here itself, the length of this third row is 4. 4 comma 4 means range function. Will it generate anything? No. Range 4 comma 4 means it will not generate anything. So that's why there is no data for this particular third column, third row. Okay. So this is how we are going to create the RDD. So this is how we are going to handle this particular data, and you can able to just say no data, no data. So I'll just show you those things. Right? Next, create data frame from RDD. You see, so how to create RDD? You see L equal to 1 comma Rama 2 comma Krishna 3 comma. So SC dot parallelize. Spark dot. So once you create RDD, this RDD object you can pass it to the data frame. Okay, so spark dot create data frame we were using to create data frame, right? So this already you need to pass it to this function. This function will generate the data frame. So when you say df dot show, it will give, see, 1 comma Rama 2 comma Krishna 3 comma Sai, it will show, but there is no headers for this. If you want to provide header, second argument you can provide as a header equal to CAD CNAME. So now you are getting CAD CNAME 1 comma Rama 2 comma Krishna 3 comma Sai. Next, so it's a single column. If you want to maintain single column, you can maintain, okay, sc dot parallelize. First you just pass this data to this parallelize function and you will get the RDD. This RDD you can pass it to the this create data frame. It will give the data frame. Can I pass this? Can I pass maybe this list of data directly to the create data frame? Can I pass instead of RDD here? Can I pass L here or not?
Yes, Malay, I can pass.
Very good, very good, friends. So we can able to pass this data directly to the create data frame, but I just wanted to tell you we have an object in Spark code, that is RDD. You can create RDD, so that RDD result you can pass it to the create data frame. That is the only intention, but previously we have seen, so directly we pass this data to this particular create data frame. Okay, so but how to create RDD? So sc dot parallelize. But if you want to create a data frame, spark dot create data frame. Try to remember. Create data frame from different file formats. Let's say now I want to create, so as of now I'm creating data frame from the local data. Maybe now I want to create data frame from different file formats. How to do that? You see, file path equal to /mnt /cloud pandit /cust1. Okay, this is the file path. File format equal to CSV. File format equal to CSV. Now, so I have a CSV file, and the file which I have, in which location this particular file is available, this is the location, let's say. Then you need to say spark dot read dot format. Spark is nothing but what? Can you tell me? What is Spark here? What is Spark here? Here Spark is a Spark session. Okay, very good. Spark session. Spark dot read dot format. Which format of file you are trying to read? So CSV. That option. Whenever you are reading CSV, you need to say header equal to true. For other files, you don't need to mention this option. So just indicates that I have headers in my file. So when you say I have headers in file, so first row in the file will be considered as a header. Otherwise, it will treat it as a data. And for headers it will generate the default headers. I will show you that. Dot load. So I want to load this particular file from this location. This is the one of the syntax. But if it is a, you have another syntax, that is, so spark dot read dot csv. If it is a csv, if it is a parquet, spark dot read dot parquet. If it is a orc, spark dot read dot orc. Okay, file path and header equal to true. You can use, these are the two syntaxes we have. You can able to use any of these syntax to create the data frame. Next, create data frame from table. So spark dot table. So this is the engineers table. I will show you how to create table, but if you have any table, so you can just use spark session dot table. So in this table, you need to pass which table you want to read. So this is the table I'm reading to create this data frame. You can do that. So you can able to fire a query as in select a star from engineer, or I want to select few columns, or I want to apply some filter out. Select a star from engineer where CID equal to 1. So only that particular record I want to get, and with that record I want to create data frame. Then you need to use this syntax spark dot SQL. If it is a table, spark dot table. If it is a query, spark dot SQL. If it is a table, spark dot table. Data frame actions. Let's say now I want to, this is the show. Show means it will show the data. Okay, see, show means it will show the data. Show of 100 means, so by default, if you say show, it will show only 20 rows, 20 records. But when I say show of 100, it is going to show me all the 100 records, up to 100 records. Show 100 comma false means, let's say you have some description column which tells, okay, Cloud Pandit is one of the like online training institute for cloud. Okay, so then it's a very big name. So these names will not be shown as is. So those data will be truncated when you apply show. It will not show complete information. The length of that particular string is very huge, right? So in those cases, if you want to see complete information, even though text is very big, if you want to see the complete information, 100 comma false you need to use. So 100 means 100 is the number of rows. False is nothing but don't truncate. That's what you are saying. Collect you can use same. Collect will show data in a rows format, but show will show data in a tabular format. I will show you that. So display also will show data in a tabular format, but with this display you can able to download the data. You can able to create the reports in a Databricks itself. So I will show you with the display. Take of n means, so I don't want to take 20 or something. I just want to take some 5 records from the bottom. So take, yeah, so top n records. So take of n means, so top n records. Take of 2 means top 2 records. Take of 5 means top 5 records. Tail of n means bottom. Okay, last n records. Tail of 2 means last 2 records. Tail of 5 means last 5 records. It will show. Okay, count. It returns the number of records. It returns the number of records. Create data frame. So I created the data frame. Now I want to see the all columns which I have available. Columns you need to use. If you want to know the data type of each column, you need to use the D types. If you want to know the schema, schema means what? You want to understand column name, data type, and I also want to know whether it will allow null value or not. Then you have a print schema. So this schema will not show data properly. It is difficult for you to read. But if you use print schema, it will be more easy for you to understand what is the data type of each column and will it allow null value or not. So schema and print schema both will use same thing, but print schema is more readable. Limit of n, you are getting lot of records, out of which you want to limit your results to 2 or 5, something 10, some number. If you want to limit your result, you can able to use limit. Describe, let's say I have salary column. When you say describe of salary column, it will tell you the min salary, max salary, standard deviation, so all other information with respect to that salary column it will give you. Okay, now read data frame. See, this is how when I read the data. So let's say how to read file path equal to this is the file location, file format is CSV, first row header are not true. So first row is you have address in the file or not, true. So how to read spark.read.format of this is a format CSV. If it is CSV, CSV. If it is a parquet, parquet. If it is ORC, ORC. Now options depends on files. The options will vary. For CSV, you need sender equal to true or false. Dot load. I want to load this particular file from this particular location. This is the location of the file. So from that particular location, I want to load the file. So finally, data from dot show. When you say df dot show, it will display this data. It will display this data. Okay. Now select columns from data frame. How to select columns from data frame? You see df dot select custody custom. So you have this entire data, out of which I'm just selecting custody and the cust name. So then you will get only these two. You can also use this syntax, simply select custody custom, or what you can do, you can just take these column names in the list, and this list you can pass it to the select. The third way is you can use something called call function to tell custody is a column, custom is a column. Please select custody and custom. Next, we have a remove duplicates from data frames. So how to remove is, do you have a drop underscore duplicates? So let's say you have, after selecting custody custom, you have one collie, three save, some duplicates, right? So on this df select, after selecting, if you apply drop duplicates, it will give you only these records. You see, data duplicate records is removed. So you can use underscore drop duplicates or drop underscore duplicates, or you can directly use drop duplicates. Both are available. You can use any of this. Then you have a distinct. Distinct means I want to select only unique records. So these three, any of these you can use to select the unique records. Next, filter records from data frame. See, the data frame you have done this, you are saying where custody not equal to 4. So meaning this is the data out of which you are saying except 4 I want everything else. So you'll get something like this. So you can also say call. So column custody column value should not be equal to 4. If wherever it is not equal to 4, 5, 2, 1, 3 are not equal to 4. So these 4 records will be written to output. R operator. So when you have multiple conditions, let's say custody equal to 3 or custom equal to ABD, in these two cases I want to get the records. Let's say you have here custody is 3, meaning this record I want, custom equal to ABD, meaning this record I want. Okay, these two records I want, 3 and 5. You see, 2, 3 you are getting. Okay, this is the record and this is the record. 2, 3. Okay, this is the 2, this is the 3. Okay, so you can also say call of custody equal to 3 or symbol. So when you use call function, you need to use a pipe operator, but when you are directly using in a SQL related syntax, you just have to use the or over R. In the same way, we can use the end operator, which is the same. Custody equal to 3 and custom equal to 7. What is the difference between end and R? So R means any one condition true, record will be written. End means both the conditions true, then only record will be written. Custody equal to 3, custom equal to 7. Yes, this is the record it is indicating. So in this case, you'll get the 3, 7. You can also use with call function, call of custody equal to 3 and call custom equal to 7. So here I'm going to use a ampersand operator. Okay, so it's a end operator you can use. Instead of using and, you can use a end operator. Next we have something called in operator. What it will do, custody is in 2, 3. If the customer ID is 2 and 3, I want to return those two records. We have 2 and 3. You see, 2 and 3 will be written. So I want all other records except 2 and 3. Then you need to use a negation operator before call. See, except 2 and 3, you will get all other records 1, 4, 5. Next, sort data in data frame. So you have this data, so you want to sort it, describe custody dot show. So you can say sort custody, then data will be arranged in a ascending order. But when you say you want in a descending, you need to say DESF custody. Descending means highest to lowest, ascending means lowest to highest. See, lowest to highest. Descending means highest to lowest. For ascending, simply say custody. For descending, DESF custody, you can say this one syntax. Another syntax that you can use is call of custody you can use for ascending, column custody dot DESC you can use for the descending. Okay, you are using sort, right? So what is the difference between sort and order by? Is sort, what it will do, so it is data will be divided into chunks, right? So when you have 25 records, it is going to, if you divide into 5 parts, it will be 5 records. Sort data means sort by what it will do. It will sort the data in each group. But when you get the result, it is not guaranteed that data will be sorted. So for that, we need to go to the order data. So same order by you can use. Otherwise, order by DAC of custody you can use. Same thing it will do for ascending this, for descending this. Result you can use this, or you can use this syntax only. Instead of sort, you need to use a order by order by order by. You can use these two syntax, or you can use these two syntax. Here I'm using call function. Here I'm not using the call function. That's all. Okay, next. So group by card type. Let's say here when I say group by card type, you know, right? So this is the one group. This is the another group I am going to get. This is the one group. This is the another group I am going to get. This is the master group. This is the visa group. So in this, what is the max max credit score 1240? In this, what is the max 1 to 4? In this, what is the minimum 770? What is the minimum here 978? So what is the count? Here you have 4. Here you have 4. What is the average? Average means sum by 4. Sum by 4. So we'll see how it will work. Max function PySpark. You see, group by card type. I'm just grouping these records based on a card type. Data aggregate. I want to do aggregation. What aggregation you want to do? Credit score maximum credit score from each group I want to get. So you can use same thing in a different way. Group by card type. Both are same. Group by card type. Both group by card type, but here you are using aggregate. Here also you are using aggregate. Here you see key and value pair you are giving. Column name, on this column I want to get the max. Otherwise you can say max I want to apply on this credit score. So you can use this syntax, or you can use this syntax for getting the max. So see, in from master max is 1240, from visa max is 1240. Exactly same syntax. If it is a min here. If it is average. If it is sum. See now, min function. So credit score min, f dot min of credit score. So in this, what is the minimum score? 770, 970. If it is sum, so you see here sum, f dot sum credit score. So exactly same. We're just going to sum up each group with master sum and the visa sum you are going to do. Okay. Now I want average function. So a credit score average. So you can use f dot average of credit score. You see this is the group, this is the group. When you say, sorry, it's average by mistake. 1032 1149.5. This is the average credit scores from each card type. So you can also use mean and average. You can use any of this. Mean and average will give the same result. Okay. Next, count action. Count means, see, year count. What it will do, in this group how many records we have? 4. In this group how many records we have? 4. So that is what it is going to give, 4 and 4 to give. Okay. Yeah, so these are the slides I have. Let me show you how to create the Databricks community edition first, because this is the one that you can able to create even though you don't have any subscription. You can able to create this. Okay, so first thing that you need to do for this, you need to have a mail ID as I mentioned. So you can simply say Databricks community. Okay, community try. Just click on try Databricks for free. Okay, so here what you need to do, you need to fill the form. I think form is not loaded. Yes, form is loaded now. First name I'll say Malaya, last name I'll say Somla. I'll say Cloud Pandit. Here I just wanted to give, so Cloud Pandit 235@gmail.com. Okay, so title you can say data engineer. Phone number it is not required. So to this mail it is going to trigger some notification to reset your password, because we are not providing any password here. Click get started for free. So now you need to select community. It's not a Databricks platform for free trial. Free trial means it will be available only for 14 days with full features. But I want Databricks community which is completely free for unlimited time. Just click on get started with community edition. Creating account. Okay. So what it is saying, time to check your mail. Thank you for signing up. Now it's time to validate your email address. Please check the email you provided for the next steps. So now I will show you. I'll just quickly open my mail ID. Here is not there. Let's click on the 1 second, friends. Yeah, you see here, welcome to, this still loading. You see, welcome to Databricks Community Edition. The community here, you see, we need you to verify your email address by clicking on this link. Click on this link. So we need to reset the we need to set the password. Let me just set the password. Yeah, click reset password. Okay, so it will take you into the Databricks Community Edition. So this is how, which is very easy for you to create. So it will not take more than 2 to 3 minutes. Just to try to create immediately after the session and try out all these things. I'll tell you. So yesterday we have seen creating the cluster, all those things, isn't it? So most of the options we have here except model. So that is for the machine learning. Anyhow, we don't have like machine learning sessions here. So you don't need to worry. So click on clusters to create the cluster. So here you don't have much options like job cluster, pool, all other things. For practice, this is more than enough. Just click create cluster. So cluster name. So Databricks runtime version, which Databricks runtime version you want to use, you can just select. We know already this. And here inactive time, all those you cannot configure it because by default the inactive time is for ideal for 2 hours. And auto scaling, cluster mode, all other options are not available. Okay, but you will get the cluster for one single machine. Even in Database community for free subscribers, we can get the only one computer. Here also we will get a one computer which is going to act as a driver worker. So like that particular machine itself manager, that particular machine itself worker, who will take the request, who will execute the job. Okay, so just click create. So I'm just created the cluster. Now click on workspace. So click here, click create. Sorry, click on this create. So create a folder first. The folder name I can say Cloud Pandit. So in this folder, click on this folder. Yeah. What happened? Yeah, click on this folder. Now click on this. Create a notebook. I want to create a notebook. In which language you want to create the notebook? You just select. So Python we know. So here I can say it's a Cloud Pandit. Cloud Pandit BI Master. Okay, BI Master demo. You can see this is the name is not correct, right? So if you want to rename, just click here, click rename. So you can say you just change it here. Okay, renaming. That's all. And so now I am here. This notebook I want to attach to the cluster. Let's attach to the cluster. Okay, from now you need to speak out. You need to be active. Otherwise, we will not be able to finish today's session. Okay, it will take more and more time. So you need to be active and respond. So cluster is still creating. Okay. Meanwhile, can you tell me when I say a equal to 10 and when I access a, what is the value I'll get?
10, sir.
10. So if I click here, if I select B, like if I am giving B, if I execute, what I will get?
Nothing will get.
Nothing means will we get error or what we will get?
We'll get error. We didn't define that.
Okay, so we'll get error. Let's say simply I will say yes. What we will get?
Same thing will get error. We
If
didn't define this.
if I give SD, what I will get?
Same error only.
Now
Now also same. Yes.
okay. Next, if I say Spark, now
We'll get some output.
okay. If I say Spark, now
Then
Pawan, what I will get here and here? Bharat, Shiva, Ratnaraj, what I will get here and here? Cluster is not up and running, so that's why I'm just still waiting. Don't worry. So, but you can try to answer these things, which will give you a lot of clarity on these things now. So, what is this capital Spark and this small Spark? What is this SC? So SC we know, so B will throw error, SC will throw error, but Spark this and this, will these throw error or not?
No error, Malaya.
I will give you some again. I will give you clarity. Okay, it will throw error. Will this also throw error or not? At least from now, can you try answer? Try to answer now. Will I get error here or not? Okay. Yes, we
it's
will
also
get the
error only.
very good. We will get the error. Okay, fine. Why cluster is taking this much time? Yeah, cluster is up now. Click on recents. See recently open notebook. Is this okay? Now you see, you will see some of the things which you are not able to believe. A equal to 10. Do one thing, detach and reattach. Execute it once again. So waiting to run, it will run immediately. Okay, now access A, yes. B, you know it will throw error. Okay, so yes, C, you are expecting it will throw error, but it will not. This is what I told you. Spark context will be assigned to a variable called SC automatically inside Databricks notebooks. Spark, will it throw error? You see, yes, it will throw error. Okay. Spark is not different, but try to access this Spark, it will not throw any error because small s, this Spark is nothing but a Spark session. This S is nothing but a Spark context. Okay, remember one thing. SC is nothing but a Spark context, which we need to create, which is used to create, Spark, for which is used to create RDD. Okay, so RDDs are recommended for handling the unstructured data. Okay, next we have something called Spark. So Spark is nothing but a Spark session, which is used to create data frames. Okay, first we will see how to create RDDs. Okay, we will see first how to create RDD. Okay, so try to understand. You can have a L. Okay, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. With this SC dot, you see SC dot parallelize. I will use something on parallelize. Okay. So parallelize, for this I'll just pass the L. So it will give the R1. So what is the type of R1? Just execute it now and check. It's a RDD. Okay, it's a basically type of R1 is a RDD. Now I want to see the result of this. So to see the result of this, so this is called a transformations. Okay. But now we'll see R1 dot collect. Execute it, it will show the data. Okay, next. This is the RDD. So this is the data here. Now what you need to do, so you just do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's try to create some file. Okay, let's create some file. See, you do one thing. One Rama, okay, two Krishna, and location is Bangalore. I think these files are already I have. Let me just check. See, mismatch data.txt. I have this file. Okay, just open this data. So this is the data I have, isn't it? This is the data I have. This data, let me upload into Databricks. How to upload into Databricks is, now come here, click on data, click create table, click select. You don't need to select, directly browse it, desktop. So on this desktop you have folders. In folders you have mismatch data.txt. Okay, just click on that, upload this data. Okay. So see, file is uploaded into this path. Okay, just select this path. Okay, click on this, let's try to read this particular data now. Okay, let's try to read this particular data now. How to read this data in RDD? So I am not talking about data from set. So sc dot text to file. Okay. So this is the location, this is the location of the file. This will give me R2. Just I am marking it as a R2, but it can be anything. See, SC is nothing but a Spark context dot text file. I'm just reading the text file. If it is a CSV file, still text file only. So you don't have a for CSV file, CSV file. If it is a Parquet file. For anything, you have a text file only. But RDDs you cannot use for reading the Parquet file and all those things. Okay. For Parquet or for most of the file formats, we have a supporting data frames. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But you see type of R2, just execute it. Say RDD. Now I want to see the data which I have in RDD. R2. See how data is looks like. So 3 rows, right? One item. This is a second item. This is a third item. But I want in a table format. But RDD is not recommended for handling structured data. That's why. See, this will show something like this. It is not going to show data in a table format. For this, you need to convert this particular RDD into data frame, structured data, right? So for that, what you need to do, first I will split this data. R2.map of lambda x colon x dot split. So split is based on what? Split is based on a comma. Okay. So split, you see. In this R2 we have 1, 2, 3 items. Okay. First you will pass this item as into x. Then you will say x dot split of comma. When I split 1 comma Rama, it will give me 1 Rama in another list. Let's see that result now. Let me show you that results now. See, this is a one list. Another list is created with 1 Rama. Another list created with 2 Krishna Bank. Another list created with 3 Sai Chennai. Okay. Now, when I look at this particular data, these two records, I have only 2 columns. Here I have only 2 columns. For handling this, I am going to write my own function. Okay. That function is going to be something like this. Def handle data something, and just pass each row. Okay, each list I will pass. Okay, so for this, what I do, for I in range of length of x. So if I pass 2, length is 2, the max length I should be having a 4. So here I will say L dot append of something. You can say not available. NA I will just put. Okay. So you need to create the empty list, because in this empty list I will add the NA 2 times for the first record. The 2 times I want to, what I will do, I'll just return this result to the calling function. There what I need to return is x plus L. Okay, so let me just show you how it will work. It will work something like this. R3 dot map of, I just have to call this handle data. From that, from this first list, second list, one by one will be passed to this handle data. It will give me R4 dot collect. You see how it will be. See NA 2 times we have here. So if you want to make a no data instead of NA, you want to make no data, you just change it no data available twice. No data. I just explained in the slides, right? That's how this function will work. Now you have a proper number of columns. This R4 I want to convert into data frame. So how to convert into data frame is R4.2df. Okay, here when you just say this will give me the df1. You see df1 dot collect. Just to get it. Don't do collect. So because collect will not show data properly. Show, you have something called show. See, data is properly, it is showing, right? So but I don't have headers here, so I want to provide headers, isn't it? So headers, you can just say headers, CID, CNAME, C location, C phone number. Okay, just execute it now. You see here you are getting proper headers and the data. Okay, so this is how the things will work in data frame. Data frame is very handy, and it will be easy for you to manage and understand and process data very easily. So it is going to show data in a proper table format, so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, how many customers you have? 3. Okay, what are their names, Ramakrishna's and locations. Okay, all those things. But if you look at the same RDD, in RDD when you read, see, it is showing data in not in a proper format. So it is just showing as a different rows. Understood? This is clear. So now we'll see how to read different types of files to create data frame. So this is how you are going to create the data frame from the RDD. Now we'll see how to create RDD, how to create data frame with local data. Let's say with local data means, okay, let me just show you. Okay, not this. Let me just cancel this. I'll show you how to create data from locally. Okay, see here. What I wanted to do, I just want to create data frame. Let's spark dot create data frame. So here you can give your data. So you need to, each record you need to consider as a one tuple object. Okay. So what you can do, so tuple object 1 comma. Let's say in this each record, what information you want to give. Let's say one Rama is, maybe what you can do is a designation developer. Okay, this is the first record. So second record, for second record you need to open one more tuple. 2, his name is Krishna, maybe is a tester. Is a tester. Okay. Next 3, it's a 3, and Sai, you can say Sai. What you can do is you can say here he is a support. You can say it's a CID. Let's say CNAME. We have a designation. Okay, these are my column names. Okay, isn't it? You try to understand. So when I open here, it's a data. So I created a separate list here. I provided the address. Okay, it's a DF to, or you can say df3, df3 dot show executed. So see name designation, 1 drama developer, 2 Krishna tester, 3 Sai support. Okay, so this is how the data will appear in data frames, but in RDD data you cannot able to analyze, as the data will not show in a proper tabular format, it will show as a rows. Okay, I hope you are clear on this, right? So now we'll see same data frame. What are the different ways we have to, we can able to create it, right? So for that, let me just upload CSV file first. Yeah, let's do one thing. Let's create table, then just let's say dbfs file store tables. So yeah, let's not do like this. Let's browse it directly. Let me upload it. Okay, so this what you can do. Go to Cloud Pandit datasets. Okay, in Cloud Pandit datasets, you do one thing. Just go to here CSV files. Okay, let's select one CSV file, maybe results.csv. Okay, so you just take this. Let me just store all these locations here. I will tell you the reason for this. Store the CSV format location. Next, again browse it. Maybe let's say this time I want to go with JSON. Let's upload some JSON file. Yeah, let's upload something like that. All those things. Then I can finally take for the paths. Maybe Parquet, so which is commonly used format. Let me take all the commonly used formats. Let's upload one more file. What else we have? We have row. Okay, so you can just try to read any type of file. You can try to read. You will be able to read all these things here. Okay, in the same way for two delimiters. Okay. So you see, I just uploaded some of the files. Let's take the paths of all these files. I'll try to tell you. So remaining files you will be able to read. Okay. Okay, so these are the different file format locations, isn't it? So now what you can do, you can say file path equal to okay, so this is CSV file path. Let's say this is CSV. This is a JSON file path. This is a Parquet file path. Yeah, our it's a C. Again CSV with a double delimiter. I'll say CSVD file path. Okay. So you have these file paths. Let it be. Now you see, I'm just going to do few things, right? So first thing that I'm going to do is I'll say file path. File path you already is having. Okay, I'll just divide all these things into. See, it will be easy for you to do like this. If I say like this, it will be easy for you to understand the things. I'll tell you the reason for this. Okay, so CSV, JSON, Parquet, okay, you have all these things. You say file format. What is the file format? It's CSV. Okay. Okay, here, what is the file format? File format is CSV. Let it be. Here, file format is what? File format is basically File format is JSON. So whatever I'm writing, see if at all any mistakes, please tell me. Okay, it's a Spark. Okay, basically it's Avro. You can have ORC and other types of files, XML, Excel, everything. Now you say you have this. Okay, I'm going to write one syntax. You see here, df equal to spark dot read dot. I want to read format of the file. Format is whatever I have given here. Okay. Dot load. I want to load the file from this location. Understood? See, now same syntax, I will paste it everywhere. The location of this is this one. From this I want to read. Okay. Next, the location of this. If at all any mistakes, you can check. So see, JSON format, JSON file path. Same location you can take. You need to part RK file. Here you need to pass arrow file path. I need to pass. Okay. Now you have all these things, isn't it? Now I want to show the data. Okay, let's see one by one. df dot show. What will happen? You see some extra things you need to do, but ultimately see, very easy. Format is CSV, load is from this location. When you read, so you are getting this data. So in this, you look at this data, you have headers went into the data because you are not telling you have headers in CSV file. So how to tell you have headers in CSV file is option header equal to true. See now date header set it proper. Okay, this is one. So in the same way, let's try to read this. This is basically double delimiter CSV file. It will throw error. See, some corrupted data came. Oh, data is not corrupted, but you see data is not in a proper format. I will tell you what you need to do for this. What happened here? So data is basically delimiter. It's basically delimiter. It's basically delimiter, friends. But here data is basically comma. Comma separated means, you see, if the data is something like this comma, by default it understands. But if it is a pipe, you need to explicitly mention. How to mention I have a delimiter is pipe is option delimiter. Delimiter is pipe unit. Let's try to execute it now. You see you're getting data properly or not? You're getting data properly or not, friends? Yes. I don't have headers, but I want to give the headers. Okay. How to give the headers? You know how to give the headers? Okay, I will tell you how to rename the headers. Yeah, let's discuss how to rename the headers at this time itself. You will be, yeah. Otherwise, let's come back. But you know how to read it right now. You don't have headers. You don't have headers in this. That's why I'm not saying header equal to true. This is all data. Next, this is a JSON. So it will throw error. So I will show you what you need to do for this, because JSON data sheets failed. It is a load. The reason is data is spread across multiple lines. In JSON, when the data is spread across multiple lines, you need to say, I will explain you that. I will open the file and show you multi-line equal to true. You need to say, just execute it, because data is spread across multiple lines. When you say multi-line equal to true, you will be able to read it. Let me quickly show you how the data is there in our data sets. Data cloud beneath data set JSON, right? JSON multi-line JSON.csv just JSON. See, data is spread across multiple lines. Okay, so that's why you need to use that option. But if the data is something like this, you no need to mention. So if the data is in a single line, so you no need to mention multi-line equal to true. Next, this is a Park. A Park, you don't take out anything, you will be able to read. lot of columns you have, that's why data will be spreaded across multiple lines. You see now, see some other columns came to the next line. So it is not a proper readable format. So to make more readable, instead of using display, you can say something called this. So instead of using show, you can use something called display of df executed. So fetching results. See, so you have a bar, just you can drag and which you just drag like this to see all the columns. Again, it will be more easy for you to read. So this is the data frame I have. Here also I want to say display. Exclude. Fetching results. See, it is just fetching the results. Okay. Now you understood, right? So what you can do now, let's try to read this particular file, because on this data we will try to apply all the transformation. Just read this data. Yes, you are able to read. So in this, what I will do, I'll just try to select, I'll just first select few columns which I need. Okay. So how to select the columns? We have to select. So which columns you want? Let's say I want only credit name and the credit score. Okay. Credit name and the credit score columns only I want in a df1. You can say df1.show expedite. So you're getting only these two columns. So for this, I just wanted to, yeah, okay. Let's say I want to drop the duplicates. You see, there are a lot of duplicate records. I want to drop those things. Okay, how to drop those things? df1 dot drop duplicates. Okay, can you simply drop duplicates? It will give you df2. It will remove the duplicates. It will give you duplicated records. df2 dot show. See, we have this data. You understood? We have this data. Okay, only unique records we have. You have only unique records. Now I want to add the extra column to it. df2 dot with the column you need to use to add the new data, new column. Okay, load date. So load date I want to load record load date. Okay, record load date. You can say here you need to use some inbuilt function to generate current date. Current underscore date. You can say from spark.sql.functions import current underscore date. Okay, so this will give me the df3 dot show expedite. See, the record load date is this one, today date is okay. Now I realized instead of record load date, I know it's anyhow record load date only. I realized I don't want to put it as a record load date. Instead, I want to say simply load date. Okay, for that, with the column renamed you need to use. So what column you want to rename? Do you know, right? df3 is having a column name something like this. This particular column I want to rename as something load date. Okay, this will give me df4 dot show. Okay, so data is proper. But if you look at the credit scores data is not properly ordered. I want to order the data. So what you can do, df4 dot, okay, order by, on what column you want to order by the data, credit score. Take this, put credit score. This will give me df5. Inside df5 dot show. Expedite. See, this is by default, it is going in a in which order it is going. It is not properly done this. The reason for this is data, the column, this particular column type is string. If it is a string, it will not properly sort it, right? So for that, before I come here, I will tell you how to cast this particular credit score. It is basically integer, but it is considering as a string. I need to convert into proper data type. How to convert? We'll see. df4 dot with the column you need to use for casting. What column you want to cast? Credit score. Okay.
With the spelling mistakes.
Which one? Spelling mistake? Oh, with the column. Okay. Credit score. Here I need to say call of credit score on this credit score. So call is the function that you need to import. Okay. So on this, I want to say cast. Cast. I want to cast it to the integer. This will give me the df file. df5 dot show. Okay, execute it now. So call is a function that you need to import. As you have not imported as of now, let's import it now from PySpark.SQL.functions import all. Okay, execute it. See now, basically the data type it has changed to integer, isn't it? So on this df result, now let's try to do the order. df5 order by this. This will give me the next data from df6. Let's say df6 dot show. See, data is properly done. It is in a ascending, but I want in a descending order. Then what you need to do for this? You need to show for descending. You need to import a function called descending from PySpark.SQL.functions. Import DASC. For this DASC you need to use here. Okay, this is basically df5. Yeah, same df5. I want to get this result, but I have already df6 on df4. I want to apply it on a df7. A df5 I will apply. I will get df7. See now 1 2 4. It is going in a descending, highest to lowest, but by default it will be lowest to highest. It's ascending by default. Now I want in a descending. I got it. Okay. Now let's see what is df1 we have. df dot show. What is df dot show here? Let's see. So this is the df dot show, isn't it? So in this, I just want to apply group by. When I apply group by, you know, I will get two things, isn't it? Group by. Group by. I want to apply group by what column? Group by what column? Friends, you know, right? Group by call type. Group by card type. Then I need to say df dot group by card type. Then I want to aggregate it based on what? I want to aggregate on which column? Credit score. What you want in this? So from each group, what is the max value I have? That max value I want to get. Okay, this will give me the max value. Max value from each group you will get it. Okay, you are getting max value from each group. You are not getting, right? You are not getting max group. Okay, this is again. This is not casted. You see, it is in a string type. That's right. Okay. So we'll do one thing. We'll try to let me just bring that particular code where we have created data frame code, right? So select. Yeah, this is the data. I will tell you a few more improvements that you can able to do. So instead of reading that data frame directly, yes. So this is the data you have, right? So just df.show. So this is the problem. Now you see you have the data type string, string, string. By default, it is considering string. I want to see option input schema equal to true, meaning can you just get the proper columns instead of just giving true? I'm saying, can you just get the column properly, column data types properly? See, this time credit ID integer, credit score integer. This credit card type credit name string. Okay, it got the correct result. Now let's try to apply max credit score on this. We'll get 1240, 1240. Okay. I want to apply the min. let's say how many I will get. Minimum means 770, 770. You see here I have 770, here also I have 770 actually. Okay. Next, what is the sum? What is the sum when I just apply sum from each card type? What is the sum of credit scores? 6508. Okay, these are huge. There are a lot of records I have here. Put it here. Let's say average I want. Then you need to say average. I want count of records from each card type. Count of records from each card type. Just count. Okay, 6. Okay, I hope you understood all this. So yeah, so that's all for today, friends. So what I will do tomorrow, I'll just take a session on how you can apply the functions. Okay, Spark SQL functions, how to apply and how to create temporary tables. All those things we'll try to see tomorrow. So by tomorrow, I'll try to complete the Spark SQL. Then we will see scheduling these jobs from Azure Data Factory and all those things. We'll see, okay. So it may take like 4 more sessions on Spark friends, because 2 sessions we need to see how to connect to the different storages, and 1 session on scheduling the jobs, 1 session on Spark SQL functions. So 4 more sessions we need on these things. Okay, that's all for today, friends. Thank you all. So any questions before I close the call?
Yeah, Manaya, how to add the mounting point?
Yeah, those things, that's what I'm saying. So we will discuss. We need at least 2 sessions on creating the mount point to connect to the SQL database, SQL data warehouse, and other stuff. We are going to discuss those things.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah, we will discuss in next week. So if possible,
Can you explain Scala?
Scala.
Yeah.
Scala is not in our students, but I'll just try to see what I can able to cover. Yeah. Next, any other questions? Okay. If no questions, that's all for today. Thank you all. Thank you.